The galaxy had forgotten fear. For centuries, alien empires ruled without challenge. They fought each other, broke treaties, and crushed smaller worlds. Yet all of them agreed on one thing: Earth was weak. Humanity was too quiet, too divided. Too late to the stars. The first strike came without warning. A fleet of the Zorth Dominion appeared above Neptune, their ships glowing with red fire. They sent one message to Earth: submit or burn. On Earth, people panicked. News channels showed the alien fleet stretching across the sky like a storm. Politicians argued in secret rooms. Some said surrender, others said resist. But no one truly knew what Earth had hidden, because Earth had been silent for a reason. In a cold base beneath the oceans, deep under the Atlantic, humans gathered around a black screen. The room was filled with tension. Generals spoke little. Scientists checked systems that had not been touched for decades. A single phrase appeared on the screen: Protocol Iron Dawn. Far above, the Zorth Dominion grew impatient. Small ships to attack the moons of Jupiter, destroying colonies with fire. Millions of human lives were lost. Their screams echoed across coms. The galaxy watched and laughed. To them, it was only natural. Earth was prey, and predators always. 1. But humanity was not prey. On Mars, a convoy of human ships had been waiting in silence. They were not warships, not in appearance. To the galaxy, they looked like old cargo freighters, slow and harmless. But inside those ships were hidden weapons designs Earth had kept secret for over 100 years. The convoy received one. Short order: hold until the signal. The people of Earth felt hopeless, but strange whispers began spreading on the net. The soldiers vanished from public view. Factories shut down without explanation. Entire cities went dark at night as if waiting for something. In the Galactic Council, alien ambassadors mocked humanity. They drank and celebrated, certain Earth's fall would be quick. One ambassador said with a laugh, "By the end of this cycle, humans will be slaves, nothing more." But not all aliens laughed. A few remembered something a story whispered. Long ago, they recalled how Earth never joined the wars, how Earth's fleets were never fully seen. Some said Earth had been building, not hiding. Others said humanity had secrets too dangerous to speak aloud. The Zorth Dominion commander ignored such talk. He ordered his fleet forward. 1,000 ships moved toward Earth, their weapons locked on the blue planet. The countdown began. 10 seconds until fire. The world held its breath. In those 10 seconds, nothing moved. No defense came from Earth. No fleet rose to meet the attack. The Dominion commander smirked. Certain victory was his. Then everything changed at the edge of the solar system. A distortion appeared. Space twisted. Light bent. A fleet emerged, but not one anyone expected. It was not alien. It was human. Massive black warships slid from the void, silent and sharp like blades. Their hulls bore no markings. Their engines burned cold, blue light. The ships formed in perfect formation, stretching farther than sensors could count. The Dominion commander froze. His crew panicked. None of them had seen ships like these. They carried no signatures known to the galaxy. It was as if they came from nowhere. A single transmission cut through the silence. It was not a plea. It was not a warning. It was a human voice, calm and cold. "You chose to break Earth. Now kneel?" The Dominion fleet tried to fire. But before their weapons could charge, beams of energy struck them with deadly precision. One by one, their ships exploded in silence, burning across the dark. The galaxy watched in shock. In seconds, the hunters became the hunted. On Earth, crowds stared at the sky, unable to believe what they saw on their screens. Children cried, not in fear, but in awe. Humanity had shown its hand, and it was a hand no one expected. The Zorth Dominion's 1,000 ships became fire and dust. And yet the human fleet did not stop. Their guns turned toward the stars beyond. The message was clear. This was not defense. This was dominance. The galaxy shivered. Every empire that had laughed at Earth now fell into silence. They understood the truth too late. Humanity had been patient, but patience was over, and deep inside those black ships, in hidden command rooms, humans whispered to each other. This was only the beginning. The smoke of the Zorth Dominion fleet still drifted across space, glowing red like dying stars. Billions across the galaxy watched in silence. For the first time in living memory, an empire had been crushed, not by another alien power, but by Earth. Fear spread faster than fire. Messages flew across the stars. Some empires demanded answers. Others prepared their armies. A few even began moving fleets toward Earth, hoping to see for themselves what humans truly had. On Earth, the people were still in shock. For years they had been told they were weak, too late to stand against alien empires. But now, in the blink of an eye, their world had changed. Children pointed at the sky and asked their parents, "Are we safe now?" No parent had an answer in the deep Atlantic base. The screen that once showed Protocol Iron Dawn now displayed a new word, Phase 2. The generals exchanged quiet looks. They had expected a war to come one day. But even they did not expect it to come this fast. Far above, the Black Fleet moved without sound. It did not celebrate. It did not slow. Its commanders knew the truth. Zorth Dominion was only the first. More enemies would come. Humanity would need to show strength again and again, until no empire dared rise. But not all humans trusted what they saw. Some whispered in the shadows, afraid of their own leaders. Where did these ships come from? They asked. Why were they hidden from us? Politicians demanded answers too, but the fleet commanders gave none. They only repeated one line. Everything was prepared for this day. In the Galactic Council, chaos exploded. The ambassadors who once mocked Earth now argued in panic. Some wanted to send peace envoys before it was too late. Others wanted to strike now to stop Earth before it grew even stronger. A reptilian ambassador slammed the table and shouted, "If we kneel to humans, our empires are finished." But an old, pale ambassador of the Ilthor Alliance leaned forward and whispered words that chilled the room. We should have never awakened them. Meanwhile, the surviving ships of the Zorth Dominion sent desperate cries for help, but no help came. Other empires who once called themselves allies now turned away. None wanted to share in their defeat. The Dominion itself was collapsing, its capital world trembling with fear of what the humans would do next. On Mars, the hidden convoy of human ships finally received the signal they had been waiting for. Their captain stood before his crew. His voice was steady. "The mask is off. The galaxy knows. Now we join the fleet." The freighters shed their false shells. Metal peeled away, revealing armored hulls and weapons that shone with cold light. They were not cargo ships at all. They were wolves dressed as sheep, ready to strike. But the true shock was still to come as the Dominion burned. The human fleet did not turn back to Earth. Instead, it pushed forward, leaving the solar system entirely. Porters on every alien world tried to follow, but their signals ended in static. None could track where the humans were heading. Rumors spread like fire. Some said Earth had built secret shipyards and other systems. Others claimed humans had allies no one knew about. And in the darkest corners of the galaxy, some whispered a tale that sounded like madness that Earth had touched technologies older than any empire. Things buried deep in forgotten stars. For the first time in centuries, the galaxy felt small. Empires that once believed they ruled everything now feared they ruled nothing. Because if Earth could hide such power for so long, what else could they be hiding? And in the command chamber of the lead human warship, Admiral Kalon stood in silence. He looked at the stars and spoke softly, not to his crew but to himself. They thought we were weak. They were wrong. Now the galaxy must decide, kneel or burn. But even Kalon knew the truth. Humanity's secret was dangerous. If every empire united, even Earth's hidden fleet could fall. And whispers of alliance were already spreading in the shadows of the galaxy. Enemies were watching, waiting, planning. The war had only begun. The galaxy was no longer laughing. After the fall of the Zorth Dominion fleet, silence spread across the stars. Empires that once mocked Earth now sat in their war councils, whispering with fear. For the first time in thousands of years, the balance of power was shaking. But fear often breeds anger, and anger soon turns to war. In the cold halls of the Vora Empire, their high council gathered. The Vora were proud and merciless, a race of warlords who believed strength was the only law. To them, the destruction of the Dominion fleet was not a warning, but an insult. Their leader, High Warlord Threx, slammed his clawed fist onto the table. Humans dare to strike one empire. Then they challenge us all. We will burn their world before they rise any further. His generals roared in agreement. In secret, the Vora began to assemble their armadas. 100,000 warships each, one forged for endless battle. Galaxy had seen their armies before, crushing worlds into ash. Now, their eyes turned toward Earth. Meanwhile, on Earth itself, the people lived in both pride and fear. They had seen the Black Fleet appear from nowhere, crushing the Dominion with terrifying ease. Some called it a miracle, others called it a warning. Streets filled with marches. Some citizens demanded their leaders reveal the truth of where these ships came from, but the leaders remained silent. In hidden chambers, the commanders of the fleet met with Earth's most secret council. They knew what was coming. The Vora Empire was too proud to stay silent. The council's leader, a woman named Celine Ward, spoke in a cold voice. The mask is gone. Every empire will test us now. One by one they will come. We must be ready to break them all. But even as she spoke, messages arrived from human colonies across the galaxy. The Vora were already moving. Scouts were seen near trade routes. Outposts had gone dark. The storm was building. On Mars, soldiers prepared for war. They trained in silence, their faces grim. They knew what the galaxy still refused to believe. Humanity had not shown its full hand. The Black Fleet was only the beginning. Admiral Kalen, standing aboard the lead warship, stared at the stars. He knew the Vora would come. They always came for blood. But what haunted him most was not their attack. It was the choice humanity would have to make: defend or conquer. Far away in a shadowed sector of space, the Vora Armada lit up the void. Their ships were massive beasts of steel, covered in scars from 1,000 battles. At the heart of the fleet was the warlord's command ship, larger than cities armed with weapons that could tear moons apart. Threx stood before his warriors, his voice echoing, "The galaxy fears humans. Good. Fear will end when Earth is destroyed. We will teach them who rules." The Armada moved forward. The countdown to war had begun. Across alien worlds, civilians watched the news in fear. Some prayed Earth would survive. Others prayed it would be crushed quickly before the humans grew. Even stronger, whispers filled the markets, the taverns, the streets. What if Earth wins again? What if they cannot be stopped? But Earth was not waiting helplessly. In the dark between stars, hidden stations powered up weapons never before seen. Engines awoke that had slept for generations. And deep under Antarctica, a chamber sealed for centuries finally opened. Lights flickered on, illuminating machines older than any empire remembered. Humanity had prepared for this day, but the question remained, was it enough? When the Vora Armada finally entered human space, sensors across, the system lit up. The fleet was endless, a wall of war stretching across the void. Entire planets trembled at the sight, and then silence. The human fleet did not move. They waited. Every screen on Earth went dark. Every colony held its breath. Children clutched their parents' hands, listening for the sound of sirens at last. A single human voice cut through the stars, broadcast to the Vora fleet and every world that could hear. The voice was calm, steady, almost cold. You chose to challenge Earth. You chose war. But hear this: what we did to the Dominion was mercy. What comes next will not be. The transmission ended. For a moment, the galaxy froze. And then, the first shots of the war began. The first strike of the Vora fleet was unlike anything the galaxy had seen. Ships moved like living predators, slicing through space with deadly precision. Planetary defenses tried to respond, but they were no match. Satellites disintegrated before alarms could sound. Cities on the edge of human space shivered, then went dark. Yet the humans did not panic. In hidden command centers, they watched the enemy's movements. Every attack was predicted. Every strike had been measured in advance. The Black Fleet, calm and silent, glided into position. Its weapons did not fire immediately. They waited. Admiral Kalin stood on the bridge, eyes locked on the view screen. He spoke quietly, but every officer heard the weight in his voice. They believe fear controls us. They are wrong. We control fear. And then it began. Beams of blue energy tore through the Vora front lines, cutting their ships apart before they could react. Explosions lit the darkness like fireworks. Entire squadrons vanished in silence. The galaxy watched in shock as human strategy unfolded with deadly elegance. The Black Fleet moved in patterns no one could predict, surrounding the enemy from angles thought impossible. High Warlord Threx roared in frustration. His command ship shook as weapons struck its shields. "How can this be?" he shouted. "They are humans. We cannot fight like this. This is impossible." His generals tried to rally their fleets, but fear spread faster than orders. Ships collided, engines failed, weapons misfired. The Vora realized the humans were not just strong, they were precise, coordinated, and terrifyingly patient. On Earth, citizens watched the war unfold through feeds and broadcasts. Children hid behind parents, yet their eyes were wide with awe. Teachers paused lessons, staring at screens. Even politicians who had doubted humanity now understood something crucial to the planet. They thought weak was the heart of a force no one had expected. In space, the human fleet advanced. It did not celebrate. There was no shouting, no cheering. Only focus. Only strategy. Every ship followed orders with perfect synchronization. Every weapon fired with accuracy that seemed almost unnatural. The galaxy began to murmur. Are humans hiding something beyond our understanding? Meanwhile, hidden Vora spies tried to uncover the secret. They sent tiny ships to observe human shipyards, only to vanish without a trace. Messages sent back were incomplete, fragmented by interference no technology should have resisted. Humans had created a shield around their preparations when no empire could penetrate. Inside the lead human warship, Admiral Kalin reviewed the battle reports. Hundreds of Vora ships had already been destroyed, yet he did not relax. Every victory was only the beginning. We must force them to kneel, not just fight, he reminded his crew. We show strength, but we also show control. That is how peace will be made. High above, the Vora flagship tried one desperate tactic. It launched a massive bomb to Earth's colonies, hoping to frighten the humans into retreat. The galaxy waited for a catastrophe, but the bomb never reached its target. Before it could even enter the atmosphere, human ships intercepted it. Energy fields enveloped the weapon, neutralizing it instantly. Single strike from the Black Fleet sent it spinning harmlessly into space. The Rex screamed in rage. The thing that defined him was crumbling before his eyes. The galaxy watched as the mighty Vora armada fell back, battered and humiliated. Humans were not just defending, they were controlling the battlefield with an almost terrifying calm. On Earth, news anchors struggled to report the truth. "We cannot confirm all details," they said, voice shaking. "But the Vora fleet has suffered massive losses. Humanity's forces, unmatched." Citizens cheered, yet fear lingered. They knew more enemies were coming, and they were right in. The shadows beyond the known galaxy, eyes watched the battle unfold. Other empires, some ancient, some ruthless, had waited patiently. Now they saw what humanity could do. A chilling thought spread through the councils of every empire. If Earth can destroy the Vora, what else is it capable of? Admiral Kalin knew this was only the beginning. One fleet defeated did not end the war. It was a warning, a statement. What it had worked. The galaxy had noticed. But even as the Black Fleet returned to hidden stations, Kalin whispered to himself, "They have seen our power. Now the question is, Who will be brave enough to challenge us next? Somewhere deep in the void, new fleets stirred. They were watching. They were waiting. And the real test of humanity's strength had not yet begun. The defeat of the Vora fleet sent shockwaves across the galaxy. Every empire had been watching, and every empire now whispered the same terrifying thought. Humans are not weak. Humans are dangerous. The Zorth Dominion, once proud, had fallen. The Vora, the fiercest warriors in the sector, had been humiliated. Now the galaxy began to move. Messages were sent, alliances formed in secret. Ancient empires, long dormant, awoke. Armadas began to stir. Humanity's patience, they realized, would soon be tested again. On Earth, life seemed calm. People went to work, children went to school, and yet everyone knew something was coming. The screens in every home flashed updates from space, showing distant fleets gathering near the edge of human-controlled systems. Fear mixed with pride. Earth had won battles before, but could it survive the coming storm? In the Black Fleet, Admiral Kalen watched the radar screens, his face calm but tense. "They are moving faster than expected," he said. His officers, trained for patience, nodded. Every move had been predicted, but the galaxy was clever. Cleverness can be deadly. Deep in the shadows of space, the Rylar Dominion, an empire older than most stars, began to send scouts toward human territory. Their ships were ancient, but their weapons were devastating. They had waited quietly, letting smaller empires fall first, gauging Earth's strength. Now it was their turn to test the humans. On Mars, hidden human shipyards were alive with activity. Ships that had been dormant for decades now powered up. Scientists and engineers worked without pause. Every weapon, every system was checked and rechecked. Humanity had hidden more than ships. They had hidden strategies no alien could predict. In orbit around Earth, small human fleets patrolled, their guns silent but ready. No one spoke unnecessarily. Each crew member knew the importance of focus. Every empire watching would see humanity's patience as a strength, but if they miscalculated, could turn into a trap. Meanwhile, the Rylar scouts entered the system. They expected chaos, panic, and weak defenses. Instead, they found calm. The human fleet moved with precision, intercepting the scouts before they could relay information. Communications were jammed, ships were surrounded, and one by one, the scouts were destroyed. The Rylar Dominion was stunned. Back on Earth, scientists analyzed the battle feeds. They could not believe what they saw. Humans, one murmured. They fight with strategy, not just strength. They think 10 moves ahead. They are not like anyone we know. In the Rylar capital, the elders met in secret. Their council chamber was dark and cold, filled with tension. "Earth has power beyond reckoning," one elder said. "We underestimated them. Every empire we crushed, every war we fought. We never faced a race like this," others argued. "For war, if we wait, they will grow stronger," said another. "We must strike before their fleet spreads further, before their secrets multiply." But even they feared the humans. Stories of the Black Fleet, of the Vora defeat, had reached every corner of the galaxy. Fear was stronger than anger. Admiral Kalen knew this. From his bridge, he watched the stars. "They are coming," he whispered, "and they will bring everything they have, but we are ready. We always have been." Then a sudden alert flashed. Across the main screen, unknown ships, fast and heavily armed, entered the outer system. They were unlike any scouts. They moved with intent. Every human officer froze for a moment. These ships were not testing, they were attacking. The first salvo hit near one of the outer colonies. Energy beams lit up the void. Humans responded. Immediately, ships leaped into action, defending their world. But the attackers were clever, avoiding traps, striking with speed and precision. Kalen clenched his fists. He realized this was different. The battle would not be easy. Every empire watching had learned from the Vora's defeat they would not underestimate Earth again. The war had escalated. Humanity had made the galaxy kneel once, but now the galaxy would strike back with all its might. Yet, even as alarms blared and ships maneuvered, a strange calm filled the human command. Kalen knew something the enemies did not. Humanity's power was not just in weapons or strategy. It was in patience, intelligence, and unity. The Black Fleet had been only the first warning. The real strength of Earth was hidden deeper than anyone could imagine, and as the new alien attack began, humans smiled quietly. The galaxy thought it could challenge them. They would soon learn that Earth did not just fight wars, it mastered them. The first shots of this new battle tore through space, signaling that the true test of humanity's power had begun. The galaxy was no longer just watching, it was reacting. After the Rylar scouts' attack failed, whispers turned to action. Multiple empires began moving fleets toward human space. It was a coalition unlike any before. Sorth remnants, Vora survivors, and Rylar forces combined with smaller powers. All united by fear and the desire to destroy Earth before it grew stronger. On Earth, civilians went about their daily lives, unaware of the scale of what was coming. Children played under the sun, markets buzzed. But in hidden command centers, humans prepared silently. Every sensor scanned the void. Every fleet calculated hundreds of battle scenarios. Earth had been ready for this. For centuries, Admiral Kalen stood aboard the lead black warship, gazing at the approaching enemy. He did not speak immediately. His crew waited, tense. "They think they can unite against us," he finally said. "They will learn in moments that unity without strategy is useless." In the coalition fleets, alien commanders argued furiously. Pride and fear clashed with urgency. "We must attack now," shouted one. "Strike hard, strike fast, and crush Earth before they gather more forces." Another countered, "Patience. If we fall into their traps, our empires will burn like the Vora." Yet no one could predict what humans would do next. The first wave of alien ships entered the system. Massive and powerful, their weapons ignited the void. Energy beams tore through asteroid belts. The coalition assumed the humans would fight defensively. They expected shields, evasive maneuvers, small retaliations. They expected fear. They were wrong. Human ships surged forward, but not as a shield. They struck with precision. Entire alien. Squadrons were cut off and destroyed before they could fire. The Black Fleet moved like a single mind, anticipating attacks, countering moves before enemies even thought them. Each strike was calculated to send a message. Earth was not just surviving it, was controlling the battle. On Earth, analysts tracked the war feeds. "They're not just defending," one whispered. "They're teaching the galaxy a lesson. Every move is a warning. Every victory is strategy, not chance." In the coalition command ship, panic spread. Orders conflicted. Confusion turned to fear. Generals shouted at each other, trying to maintain control, but it was useless. Humans had seen every pattern, anticipated every tactic. No one could hide. Admiral Kalen monitored the battlefield with calm eyes. Sensors picked up movement in hidden sectors of space. Fleets that had been invisible until now began to appear, massive warships, faster and stronger than anything in the coalition. Humans had hidden their full strength, and now it revealed itself. Perfectly timed to strike fear and awe into the hearts of every enemy. The first alien capital ship exploded in a blaze of blue fire. Then the second, then dozens more. Across the system, the coalition's fleet began to falter. Retreat orders were sent, but communication was jammed. Humans controlled the battlefield, controlling the perception of space itself. On Earth, Selene. Ward spoke to her commanders. "This is not victory. This is warning. Every empire now knows we exist. Every empire will plan, must stay ahead. Cannot just fight, they will unite again, stronger." Above, alien ambassadors and leaders watched the feeds, realizing the truth too late. Earth was not a planet to conquer, it was a force. One fleet, hidden for centuries, had already shifted the balance. Even the galaxy's oldest empires whispered in fear. "They have not shown all their power," one elder said, "and if they do, no empire can survive." Yet humans did not gloat. They moved with discipline, silence, and strategy. They allowed the coalition fleets to retreat, but they knew it was only temporary. Every alien ship that escaped carried a message: Earth is not weak. And every empire that watched learned the same truth: humanity was patient. But it would not wait forever. In the shadows, new fleets stirred, sending signals back to their home worlds. The war was not over. Humanity had won this battle, but the real challenge had only begun. Every empire in the galaxy had now set its eyes on Earth. Every one. And Admiral Kalon, staring at the stars from the bridge of his ship, whispered, "Let them come." Every empire, every fleet, every hunter, they will kneel or burn. This is only the beginning. The galaxy had never felt tension like this. Every empire that had once ignored Earth now watched with fear. The Black Fleet, silent and precise, was no longer just defending it, was striking, controlling, shaping the battlefield. Humanity's patience had ended, and now the universe trembled. Admiral Kalon stood on the bridge, eyes scanning endless stars. "They are coming," he said quietly. The crew understood. This was no longer a test or a warning. Every empire that had laughed at Earth now united in a single purpose: to destroy it before it became unstoppable. The coalition fleets approached from multiple directions. Thousands of ships armed with the deadliest weapons known to the galaxy. Entire battle formations moved in perfect synchronization. It was an army unlike any humanity had seen, yet the humans remained calm. Their black ships glided into position, surrounding the incoming fleets like a shadow ready to strike. On Earth, citizens watched the screens in awe and fear. News anchors struggled to report the magnitude of what was happening. "We cannot confirm all details," one said, voice trembling. But humanity now faces the combined fleets of the galaxy. And yet, their forces remain unbroken. In the command centers of the coalition, panic had spread. Generals shouted orders, trying to adjust formations, but their tactics were already known. Every movement had been anticipated. The humans had prepared for this, not for days or months, but decades. The first shots of the new battle lit the void. Energy beams tore through the coalition's front lines, destroying ships before their weapons could even charge. Alien soldiers panicked as their leaders fell silent. Communications broke down. Entire squadrons vanished. Humanity's Black Fleet moved like a single entity, perfectly coordinated. It's terrifying in its precision. Admiral Kalon watched from the bridge as the coalition fleet began to falter. He did not smile. Calmly, he issued orders, each one measured. Focus fire on the command ships. Disable their control. Let the rest retreat if they can. Even the galaxy's oldest empires began to understand the truth. Humanity was not just strong. Humans were patient, intelligent, and relentless. Every empire that had doubted Earth had made the same mistake. The galaxy had underestimated its powered on the shadows, alien observers whispered. "They are not just fighting," one said. "They are showing us. Everything we thought we knew was wrong. Humans control the battlefield. Humans control the galaxy. And if they wish, they could destroy us all." The coalition's warlords tried a final maneuver, a desperate attempt to crush the Black Fleet with overwhelming force. They concentrated every weapon, every ship, every tactic into a single strike. The universe waited, but humanity was ready. Black ships surged forward, moving through the attack with perfect timing. Energy shields shimmered, weapons fired, and the combined fleets were torn apart before they could complete their strike. The galaxy gasped. 100,000 ships had attacked together, yet humans survived. Not only survived, they dominated. On Earth, people cheered quietly, but fear remained. Citizens knew the galaxy would not stop. New empires would rise, new threats would appear. But humanity had sent a message: kneel or burn. Admiral Kalon turned to his officers. "We have shown them our power," he said, "but this is only a taste. The galaxy will remember this day. Every empire that thinks it can challenge us will think twice." Even in retreat, the coalition fleets understood one thing: the humans were unlike anything in the galaxy. Their patience, strategy, and hidden technology had changed everything. No empire had ever faced an enemy like this. And as the Black Fleet Returned to hidden positions, Kalen whispered quietly to himself, almost as if speaking to the stars. They thought they could break us. They thought we were weak. They were wrong. Always wrong. Galaxy will never forget Earth. Somewhere in the void, new fleets began to form. The galaxy was not finished. But humanity had taken the first and most important step. It had shown that no empire could stand against its power without consequence. The war was far from over. But the universe now knew one undeniable truth. Humanity was no longer prey. Humanity was the hunter. The galaxy was on edge. Every empire that had once mocked Earth now trembled. Humanity had shown its strength in battle after battle, leaving fleets shattered and reputations broken. Yet even as humans dominated, whispers spread. What had they been hiding all this time? Admiral Kalen stood on the bridge of the lead black warship. Around him, officers worked silently, eyes fixed on the view screens. "This is it," he said, voice calm but heavy with purpose. "The galaxy has seen our warning. Now it is time to show our full power." Massive shipyards. Activated. Centuries-old defenses, long hidden from the stars, roared to life. Machines older than any empire's memory began producing weapons, drones, and ships at speeds no one could imagine. Earth was revealing its ultimate arsenal. Across the void, fleets from every corner of the galaxy converged. Ryler and countless smaller empires moved together for the first time. Pride was gone, replaced by fear and desperation. They believed sheer numbers could overwhelm humanity. They were wrong. The first shots were fired. Energy beams tore through the outer fleets, cutting them apart before they could coordinate. Entire squadrons disintegrated in seconds. Black Fleet moved like one mind, anticipating every attack, exploiting every weakness. High above, the coalition admirals watched in disbelief. "How is this possible?" one whispered. "They are everywhere at once. Every move we make, they already know." On Earth, citizens looked at the skies, screens showing the battle unfolding in real time. Fear and awe filled their hearts. Children clutched their parents, yet many stared, wide-eyed, at the Black Fleet tearing through enemy formations. Humanity was no longer just defending, it was dominating. Admiral Kalan issued orders with precision. Target command ships first. Disable their communication. Force them to watch as their fleets fall apart. One by one, alien command ships exploded, leaving their fleets in chaos. Retreats turned into panicked flights. Entire armadas crumbled under the weight of humanity's strategy. And then, something the galaxy had never seen occurred. Hidden human. Warships emerged from cloaked sector ships capable of striking from thousands of kilometers away with pinpoint accuracy. Massive drones deployed, moving through space in perfect formations, tearing apart any enemy ship in their path. The coalition. Fleets were crushed, but humanity did not celebrate. Every strike, every victory was deliberate, showing control, strength, and discipline. The message was clear. The galaxy could kneel or burn. In the remnants of the coalition command ships, alien leaders whispered in fear. They were patient, one said. They waited. They allowed us to think we could challenge them. Now, there is no hope. None. Even the oldest empires, those who had once thought themselves invincible, realized their mistake. Earth was no ordinary planet. Humanity had prepared for centuries, building hidden fleets, ancient weapons, and strategies beyond comprehension. Every empire that had underestimated them had paid the price. On the bridge of the lead black warship, Admiral Kalen looked at the stars. "Tell the galaxy this," he said, voice low and steady. "We did not fight for destruction. We fought for respect." Gave every empire a choice, kneel or burn. And now the message is clear. Humanity will not be broken. Back on Earth, citizens cheered quietly. Not for revenge, not for power, but for survival, for victory, for the proof that humanity was capable of anything when united. The skies were no longer just theirs. They were a symbol, a warning, and a promise. And in the deepest reaches of the galaxy, where new fleets began to form in secret, aliens paused. Every empire, every warrior, Every council understood a simple, terrifying truth. Humanity was not weak. Humanity was patient, intelligent, relentless, and unstoppable. The galaxy would never be the same. Admiral Kalen turned from the view screen, voice calm but resolute. Let them rebuild their fleets. Let them plan. Humanity will be ready. Always. Black Fleet moved silently into formation, a shadow over the stars, signaling that Earth was no longer just a planet. It was a force that would shape the future of the galaxy, and every empire that had ever challenged it had learned the same lesson. Never underestimate humanity. The stars were quiet again, but this time they trembled with respect. The war was over for now, but the message was eternal. Every alien empire that chose to break Earth had been shown its place. Humanity had made them kneel, and in the heart of every human ship, the same thought echoed. This is only the beginning.